Now I've produced the through mortise, okay, using the method of using our mortise chisel. So now I need to chop these wedge holes because this through mortise is going to be secured by 2 wedges. Okay, now generally our wedges are a 1 in 10. Okay, so 1 in 10, what does that mean? So that means that this slope is a 1 in 10 slope. So for example, if this is 45, 1 in 10. So if I was to put a square line on, let's put my square to there. If this is 45 mil, that means from this square edge, of the timber, this represents the timber. If I measured in 45 or 4.5 mil, and then mark it and put it down to the line, that is my 1 in 10 slope. So that's what I've done here. So I've measured 4.5 mil and then marked it and then cut it to that angle. So that I'm going to place this on top of there, and then I'm going to rest my chisel on top of that and just chisel that through there. So what I'm going to do now is set this up in readiness for my wedge hole chopping. Nice and firm. Place my chisel on there.
Got you. That's a good angle. That's a good angle.
So I need to do that here. I've already done this side with the wedge hole, so now I'm turning it the opposite side in this end and just lining it up with the pencil line that I've marked. You can see it there. Right, so just take it up just that little further, and then I'm going to rest my chisel on that 1 in 10 slope angle that I've created. It's nice and firm. Keep it there. As you go through, it won't hit the other side of the mortise. It just will sweep away. So let me just demonstrate where it's going to go. So let me take this off. If you can imagine that line coming through there, like so. So it will just as I chisel it through, it will just graduate, and then I won't be able to take off anything. But the slope will be inside the actual mortise. So all I want to do now is just show you how it looks like inside. So you've got that graduated 1 in 10 slope in there, created by using my wedge jig, as I call it. It's a 1 in 10. And that's it really. Job done. Complete. Ready for the next bit. So now I've produced the mortise, and now I'm lining up. I'm about to cut the tenon. Before I cut that, I'm lining up my gauge lines in relation to the actual mortise hole that I've already produced. So I'm just going to, it looks like I'm gonna have to just cut it just that little bit bigger so that it fits nice and snugly within my mortise hole that I've created there. So this is something that we do just prior to cutting. We just size it up, and then just to make sure that that it's going to be a nice and snug fit, as snug as we're going to get. So just remember that you're cutting on the waist side. So in this case, I'm going to score my weight on the waist side, just keeping it 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I'm going to work just similar to what we're doing in my previous videos. Right, so now I'm going to cut my shoulders. I'm going to use that trench method that I've shown you in my previous videos, whereby I score the shoulder line with a chisel, like so, just showing you. So point the chisel away from you, because you're using it like a knife. And then I'm just going to tilt the chisel in. And what this does is just makes sure that my saw doesn't move, gives it a nice clean edge. I'm going to do it on both edges, or both shoulders, shall I say.
I'll do a zoom up.
So now I'm going to cut my shoulders on my tenon here, and then I'm going to then fit it into the mortise. Okay, so now I'm going to fit the tenon into my mortise. So, here we go. Here we are. Just check it for square. There we are. Lovely. So this is how that looks. So the reason why we wedge a mortise and tenon is because this is a way of securing that joint into that mortise hole. This is why the wedges are always incorporated within this joint. It's just to secure it together. So we obviously need glue as well as gluing the wedges. That's the idea. So next, what we're going to do now, once we've produced the mortise and tenon, we are going to now work on the bridle joint of this job. Good. Right, so now I'm going to do that trenching method again. So it's similar to the method that I've done in the other ones, but this is, you know, still chopping, isn't it? Chopping out.
Just looking for the flatness inside there. Can you see that?
Now I've chopped up my bridle tongue, ready to receive the other part of the bridle. This is going to slip into there. So this is nice and flat inside. Okay, with the square, tri-square. So now I'm going to then offer, just to check before I cut this one out. So I need to cut down here, and now I'm going to cut this. This is going to come out. So So I just need, so all I need to do is just, before I cut it, is just to size it up, just to make sure that, you know, what side of the line. I know what side, but how much more. It looks like it's gonna be okay, spot on. Once I've cut it, it's gonna slip in quite nicely. Okay, so, in the vise it goes. So now we're going to cut inside of here, the waist side of the line. So picking up the saw. So we're going to go 1, 2. So we're slicing down the bridle. This is the side. I'm going to do the same this side. 1, 2. Finger. Grab the saw nice and firmly. And then just away you go. Doing that. So now I've cut along the top there, and then I'll score down here, or cut down here, ready, and stop just about half a mil away from that shoulder line there. This is my other little shoulder for the bridle. Now I'm going to come down here, and then so now I'm ready to remove the inner part of my bridle. I'm going to then pick up my coping saw. This is going to be able to cut and just remove it just a bit above that line, about a mil, and then I'm going to finish it off with my mortise chisel afterwards. Okay, so here we go.
All right, that's okay.
Okay, the coping saw enabled me to scoop that out, and then this is removed. So it enabled me to do that instead of picking up my mortise chisel and starting bashing away. But what happens is, when you're bashing away, you've still got it, and it's pieces are flying away like that. So this is the most effective way of removing something as simple as this out of the bridle. And then all I've got to do now is just chisel this to the line using the mortise chisel, because that's set to the mortise chisel. That's what I'm going to do next. Okay. I place a piece of timber here. I could use that as always a guide. Put this at the end of my bench, like so. And clamp that on. Nice and firm. And all I'm going to do is just lightly, if I could use that as a, oh. Now, you notice there it's a bit unshaken. So what I'm going to do there is, if I put that onto here, just to stabilize that a bit more. In fact, that's probably done that. Set that there. Okay, so. Now, another little check, just to make sure that when it comes together, I'm going to put my square in here. Now, I've identified there's a little bit of a gap between the edge of the square and the edge of the timber. There's a very minute gap. So what that tells me is within the actual bridle, there's a little bit of a bump inside there. This is a little bit, not very much, it's very small. Yeah, on this piece, you just see it, because this not quite touching the edge of that piece of that edge of that bridle joint. Right, so what I'm going to do now is just tilt the chisel inward like this, and then also turn it around and tilt the chisel again in here. Oh yeah, look, you see? It's very tight now, you see it's touching. You can see it now, it's just touching there, look. That means there's nothing going to interfere with it when I bring that together. Right, so now we've cut away the inner part of the bridle. Now, before you try and attempt to push it into the bridle together, both of them together, a little tester, if you squeeze it, you push it into the outer rings, you can tell that it's going to work well. So in this case, it's going to work brilliantly well, very good. And the same on this side, so the opposite side, one side, and we can do the opposite side. Look at that. Lovely, that's going to work nicely. Okay, prior to bringing it together. Now, so now it's the moment of truth. So let me see. It's very snug fit, this one. Very snug. There you go. Look at that. Lovely. Lovely. There we have it. Bridle complete. Here we are. That one's here. Put that one in. Here we go. Lovely. Okay, look at that. And what I like about it, all the face opposite, this is important. Yeah.
What's that, H?
The faces are opposite one another. So sometimes when students, if they don't concentrate, like this face is kind of, they put it the wrong way round. Because you know, when I mark the face size, they're opposite. If that was a frame, I'll put another one there. They're all going to be opposite.
Oh, okay, interesting.
And now you have a go at producing that joint today.